Welcome, curious minds, to the Eloquent Explorers. Here, we unlock the magic of words, explore powerful ideas, and make learning English fun and easy. Join us and let's embark on this journey together. The chapter we are covering today is A Baker from Goa, a part of the 3 stories from Glimpses of India. The story is written by Lucio Rodriguez and is prescribed in CBSE Grade 10. Through this video today, we are covering about the author, background of the story, detailed summary, themes, key points to remember, and at the end, I will tell you what points to focus on for your exams. Let's discuss the background of Lucio Rodriguez, who was a renowned Goan writer and folklorist. You're going to write down in the comment who is a folklorist. He is best known for his essays and writings that capture the essence of Goan life, culture, and traditions. His work often reflects the Portuguese influence on Goa, illustrating the customs and day-to-day lives of Goans. Now, before I move forward, I want all of you to check your maps, mark Goa and write down its capital. Write down Goa and its capital in the comments. I'll be checking your comments. Rodriguez was deeply interested in preserving Goan folklore, history, and customs, a reflection of which we will be seeing in this story itself. His writing style combines nostalgia, the meaning of which you people are going to tell me, and humor, making his descriptions vivid and relatable. So in this story, we will see that he recalls his childhood and how the coming of the baker in the morning marked the beginning of the day, and how that has become a tradition. So we're going to discuss all that, and we're going to see how his background has been reflected in the story that Rodriguez has written. His descriptions are vivid and relatable, and we're going to see that throughout the story. And of course, the story shares a very important message of preservation of culture and heritage. Let's now discuss the background of the story. We all know Goa is a coastal state in India, and it was under Portuguese rule for over 450 years, significantly shaping its culture and lifestyle. The tradition of bread making in Goa originates from Portuguese times, where bakers or padeiros became integral to daily life. This tradition has stood the test of times, and it is still prevalent in Goa, which we are going to read in this story through the experiences shared by Lucio Rodriguez. Moving on, bread is essential to Goan culture, often used in festivals, weddings, and community gatherings. After Goa's liberation, many Portuguese customs remained, with bakers symbolizing this lasting cultural heritage. Goa's unique blend of Indian and Portuguese culture is reflected in its food, customs, and community roles, with bakers still respected figures. Here you can see that this bakers and the bread that they have baked and they have started, the Portuguese that brought the bread, it has become an essential part of the Goan culture. It is still a valuable part. For example, if you see in the North Indian states, the culture of wheat, of roti, is very prevalent here. Everybody still in the North India prefers roti. Okay. And similarly, if you see in the southern part of India, rice is more of a staple diet, more of a preference of the people from South India. So this is because of the culture, and the culture you can see has evolved around that, around the availability of the food. So similarly, even in Goan culture, you can see that bread has been marked as an important commodity, as an important part of every festival, weddings, and community gatherings. Okay, it has, this tradition of bread has also given birth to various rituals around it, various festivals around it. And even after Goa's liberation, after Goa being freed from Portuguese rule, you can see that the customs of Portuguese have still remained, with bakers as symbols for this lasting cultural heritage. The importance of these bakers still remind us how important and how integral a part of tradition bread baking and these bakers have been in Goan culture. The story is set in the traditional Goan village where Portuguese influence continues to shape daily life. particularly through the presence of bakers who supply bread to the community. You can see that the setting here is of Goan village. The Goan village has the influence of the Portuguese culture mixed with Indian culture. So here we will see that the setting of a story is very important so that you can understand the relevance of the story. All right. So keep in mind that the setting of the story is in a traditional Goan village. Let us now discuss the detailed summary of this story. The story, A Baker from Goa, is a nostalgic reflection on the traditional Goan baker, known locally as Pader, and the unique role he plays in the lives of Goan villagers. The author reminisces about his childhood memories of the baker, recalling how the baker's daily arrival was announced by the distinctive sound of his bamboo stick tapping against the ground, signaling the start of a new day. Okay, so in this story, as we read from the background itself, that and also from the background of the author, see here it is we can see how important the backgrounds are, okay, in order to understand the stories. So here you can see that this is a nostalgic reflection. In this story, the author recalls his childhood memories where he thinks of the baker, and he recalls how the baker used to go around in their villages, in the wherever they used to live, and over there those bakers' daily arrival. The bakers would arrive very early in the dawn, and their arrival would be preceded by distinctive sound of the bamboo stick. When you move with a bamboo stick and the stick hits the ground, it makes a very distinctive sound. Okay, so that sound worked like an alarm clock for the people, and this sound of the bamboo stick and the baker's arrival marked that the new day has started. The baker, his appearance is being discussed now. The baker would come dressed in a unique knee-length frock, often with a smile and a basket full of bread. As you can see in the picture also, you can see that the baker is wearing a knee-length frock, and the baker would always come with this unique knee-length frock, wearing this unique knee-length frock, often with a smile and a basket full of bread. Bread was a staple in Goan households and essential for all celebrations, births, weddings, feasts, and other social gatherings. As I just explained to you, like in North India, we have wheat, which is a staple here, and in South India, the rice is a staple for the South Indian people. Similarly, in Goa, bread was a staple. Okay. In the comments, I want all of you to find out what are the staple diets of West India and Eastern India. All right. Now, this bread has become a staple diet, staple in Goan households, and it was very important for the births, the weddings, feasts, and other social gatherings. The bread, or bulinhas, was not just food; it was a symbol of togetherness and celebration. The author humorously describes the baker's appearance, noting their plump physique, which he attributes to eating well from their own delicious products. You can see the aspect of humor has also been marked here, can also be seen here in the description of the baker's appearance as being plump. Plump is when you are a little fat. Okay, so this author calls the baker fat, plump, adding humor to this story. And how the baker has got the plump physique, he tells us, is probably due to the bakers eating their own delicious products. Okay, that is why they have become plump. Over time, modern lifestyles and grocery stores have replaced the patter. Yet the memory of the baker lingers as a symbol of heritage and continuity in Goan culture. So even though the modern lifestyles and grocery stores, they have replaced the pader, the person who used to come to the villages to sell bread. Even though that tradition has now come to an end, and you can easily procure bread, you can easily buy bread from grocery stores. However, the author says that this memory of the bakers coming very early in the morning with their bamboo sticks, and the sweet smell of freshly baked bread, all that memory still lingers in the memories of the people of that village of Goa, and that is a symbol of heritage and the continuity of Goan culture. So here the author talks about the preservation, the transition of the older lifestyles to a modern lifestyle. However, in some way or the other, people have still held on to their culture and their heritage, even if it's just in their memories. The people have still held on to their culture and to their heritage, and they still cherish this Goan culture. With this, we come to an end of the summary explanation of the story. I hope you have understood the story. If you still have doubts, please feel free to ask in the comment box. Let us now move on towards the next part of this video, which includes the themes, the key points, and as promised, I will tell you what points to focus on for your exams, for your upcoming boards. The major themes that have been reflected in the story include: number 1, tradition and continuity. The story shows that how some cultural practices like bread making have persisted through generations, symbolizing continuity and heritage. Now, you can see that in the story we come to know that some cultural practices like bread making in Goa have still persisted, have stood the test of times, and they are still being practiced through generations, which symbolize the continuity and heritage. Now, I want you all to tell us what cultural practice has your community still continued. Now, the second one is colonial influence. The Baker, a legacy of the Portuguese, highlights how colonial history has influenced Goa's culture and traditions, even years after independence. So here you can see that the colonial influence, the influence of Goa being a Portuguese colony. See, before the Britishers came in, Goa was a part of the Portuguese Empire, of the Portuguese colonies. So here you can see that colonization of the Portuguese has still an influence on Goa's culture and traditions after so many years of independence. Now, the last theme is community life. The baker is a vital part of the village life, bringing people together and serving as source of comfort and nostalgia for the narrator. Now, this baker, you can see, reflects the community life and how simple things connect us as communities. This story not only tells us about what the author recalls, but also about how the community used to behave and how they had welcomed the baker and that tradition that the baker had brought with him. Okay, so here we can also see a reflection, a theme of community life in the story. Now let's move on to the key points. The first one is cultural significance of bread. The tradition of bread baking has Portuguese roots, symbolizing a lasting colonial influence in Goa. Nostalgia and heritage. The baker embodies the connection to a past lifestyle cherished by the older generations. So here you can see the key points that have been covered in this story. First one is the cultural significance of bread, how this bread baking has become a part of the tradition, and its Portuguese roots have been shown in this story. And then nostalgia and heritage, that how the connection to a past lifestyle and the cherishing of that past lifestyle by the older generation has been embodied by the baker. Humor and physical description is another key point from the story. The baker's plump physique adds a humorous element to the story as it reflects the indulgent lifestyle tied to his profession. Now, in this story, you can see that this plump physique of the baker, it adds a humorous element to the story, and it also reflects the indulgent lifestyle, the busy lifestyle of the baker, due to which the person is not able to take care of his health, and this is because of the lifestyle that has been tied to his profession. Now we'll finally move to the points that are important for exams. For your exams, be prepared to discuss the baker's role in Goan society and significance of bread in Goan traditions. In exams, you will see that if the question arises from this chapter, they will either ask the role of baker in Goan society or they will ask the significance of bread in the Goan traditions. Key themes that we just discussed include the continuity of tradition, the influence of colonialism, and the value of community roles. These key themes can also be used as questions. Finally, make sure that you know how to write character sketches because that could be helpful for you to score some extra points. And that wraps up today's video. I hope the chapter is now clear and that I have addressed all your queries. If you still have any doubts, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please share it with anyone else who might benefit. Stay tuned, I'll be uploading the next parts soon. Until then, take care and all the best.